Really delighted to be here with Commander Shanti Sethi, who is in charge of the USS Decatur, here visiting Chennai. Our first U.S. naval ship visit to Chennai during my time here as Consul General, and several members of the crew. And
as the Consul said, my name is Commander Shanti Sethi, and I'm the commanding officer of USS Decatur, which is a guided missile destroyer. I'd like to begin by saying that we are very happy to be visiting Chennai. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself, since we're discussing Women's History Month, and in the case of myself and my sailors here, women doing unconventional jobs. It's not always the easiest route, but sometimes following your passion isn't easy. And when you find what you love to do and you excel at it, people will support you naturally.
Being a lady, what is the difficulty you feel there in your job?
It is that there are occasionally difficulties. I think it's gotten better, but for me, oftentimes it's not only being a lady, but being as small as I am, not being taken seriously. People underestimated me, and after a while, I found that being underestimated worked in my favor, because I would let them underestimate me for a month or two, and then I would come out of the blue with the right answer.
But as an electronics technician, my job in particular, I do work with a lot of men, but we have the ability to somewhat do our jobs a little bit better because we have to study so hard. And I know that probably for most of you that's the same here. If you are looking for careers outside in the world, that you're going to have to study harder and be better at your job.
For me personally, my biggest challenge was overcoming the not believing in myself. Not believing that I could accomplish everything that I wanted.
How do you really balance your work and your life? I mean, your personal life and your work?
And it's hard. It is a hard life, but you know, I have the good support of my family, and that's what makes it easy.
My husband, he's also in the Navy. He takes care of our children when I'm away, and I think probably the hardest part of our job is leaving our children behind. But in the end, my children have gained a lot of valuable experience, and they're very independent, and they've lived all over the world, and they've experienced different cultures and have a different viewpoint on the way they see the world.
Balancing work and life when you're single it can be equally difficult. I have a tendency to become a workaholic, and I will spend all day working, and when I go home I will be thinking about work. And I really had to force myself to find friends and activities that weren't related to my job.
How leadership in women is accepted in men's world?
Leadership style is very different than most of the men around me. I tend to be maybe a little bit more collaborative. I want people to give me advice and to actually propose solutions.
And one of the biggest problems I've had with some of them, most of them being male, is they tend to think not of me more as their boss, but sometimes more as their mom. And conversely, I sometimes feel like I'm babysitting them with the childish things that they have to do. But you really just have to separate the gender role in there and just focus on the task at hand and just make sure that is what the focus is on. And then usually it just works all right.
And I think that in the future, with more women, you know, we're going to see a lot of changes on just the way we lead people. And I think the collaboration will, you know, there will be more of it.
We have to keep in mind that it's not always personal. You can't take it personally, otherwise you then fail in what you're actually trying to accomplish, and that is just to complete the deployment, complete the mission, get the job done, and get everyone home safe.
It's about men's idea of females' physical strength.
And I know none of the men on board can match me on the rowing machine. They started calling me Iron Woman at the beginning of the deployment, because I would be on there for 45 minutes and they were tired after 10.
I just say I had to work smarter, not harder.
Okay? So whether you're male or female, if you want something, you work at it. So it's just a matter of you as a person. It doesn't have to be about gender, about male or female. learn to work smarter, or there's no shame in asking for help either.
What was the inspiration behind all of this? How you all managed to do it?
I knew when I was only 5 years old what I was going to do and how I was going to achieve it. And I think that was my inspiration, was that I saw, going through school, everyone watches the news. We all have access to the internet. So we want to make an impact somewhere that's going to, be something good for those of us who live in the United States and those that we help outside the United States. And that inspiration is what's driven most of us to continue that pathway.
I think I was lucky enough to have a mother who always told me that there was nothing that I couldn't do. So growing up, I always knew that somewhere I wanted to do something to do with the military. And when the opportunity came up, I took it and haven't looked back since.
I had a passion for the military. I went for it. My father has since changed his mind and told me if I ever get out, I'll be stupid. He would like me to stay in the Navy as long as I can. He sees what it's done for me, what it's done for my country, and how much I love it and how much it's made me grow as a person. So my passion is from what I get back from the military.
My passion is my sailors. I love not only what I do, but I love the people who I get to do it with.
When you are in work, do men help you, that is motivate you to do the job properly?
I've always been fortunate in that that the men I've worked for, with very few exceptions, have been very supportive and have treated me like another officer as opposed to a female officer.
During crisis, during emergency, how do people handle with it? Don't you people go chaotic?
To prevent chaos in situations like that is we train.
In the Navy, we do train, and we train all the time. We also study. We think about the things that we're going to do before we do it, because we remain calm based on the fact that we've been trained to remain calm. So when something horrible happens in another country, and we definitely offer our assistance, the first thing that our sailors are told is, this is the problem, this is the situation, and this is the good that we can do. And everybody falls into place. So it's a wonderful thing.